Number 9. Does anybody need number 9? Yes? Just like to know how to do it. Okay, number 9. Scroll up here so we got all that page. What value must be added to 4x squared minus 20x to complete the square, make it a perfect trinomial? Okay? So in order to complete this square, we're going to take that second term right there. We're going to divide it by 2. So we're going to take negative 20 divided by 2, and we're going to square that answer. Okay? So negative 20 times negative 20 should be 400. 400 divided by 4 is 100. Okay? Right? Okay? No, okay, sorry. Negative 20 squared. What is that? All right. And we're also squaring the 2 underneath of it, right? So it should be 4. What's 400 divided by 4? 400. What? 100. Sorry, 100. Okay. Let's see. Actually, I think yeah, so this value just comes out to 100. Okay. So our answer to that, we've got 4x squared minus 20x plus 100. Okay. What value must be? What? Oh, I am just failing on all levels today. Negative 20x. So we should get this, right? What value must be added to 4x squared minus 20x to complete the square? And then we want to make it a perfect trinomial. All right, let's see. So now what we actually want to do is we want to factor out the 4. Okay, so whenever I factor out the 4, I'm putting that out here. I'm getting x squared minus 5x plus 25. So the value that we're actually adding to it is 25. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, so I know, you're thinking it's 100, but then we actually have to factor it down. Okay. All right, let's check our next page, which is 14, 10 through 14. Anybody 10, 11, or 12? 10. If y squared minus 16y squared equals 6cy, what are 2 solutions for y in terms of c? So I'm going to see what I can do, because if you look through here, I don't actually have any work. I don't know if I've lost my work or what. So what I would do to the beginning of this is get everything on the same side. So I would take this, I get y squared minus 6cy. Yeah, I'm going to move that guy over. Okay, minus 16c squared. All right, so now I'm looking at this. Okay, now I know I'm going to get y and y, right, because I'm getting a y squared out of it. If I'm negative and negative, I have to have a positive negative, right? All right, so I'm looking at things that are going to multiply to be negative 16, but the difference is going to be 6 between the plus and the negative. So you're probably looking at, 2 and 8, where the 8 is negative, okay, and I'm getting a positive 2, okay? But we want to solve these in terms of c, so I'm trying to, okay. Okay, so that should be 2c and 8c, right? Sorry, I forgot to put those in because we do have that, and, okay. All right, so we want to solve these in terms of c. So we're taking y plus 2c. Solve for y in terms of c. So we're going to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2c. So y equals negative 2c. So negative 2c is an answer. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Y minus 8c equals 0, and add 8c. So y equals positive 8c. That's how I get negative 2c and 8c for that. Okay? All right. 11, 12, 13, 14. None of those. Very, very good. Okay, 15 through 19. 15, 15. Which of the following polynomials has 0 and 3/4 as zeros? Okay. Let's see, this is another one of those interesting. Okay, so here the 3/4 is going to be what throws most of us on this. Okay, which of the following has 0 and 3/4 for 0? So if I was doing this, we would wind up with x, we could put plus or minus 0. So x minus 0 times x minus 3/4, right? Okay, but 0, I mean, x minus 0 is not an option. Really, this isn't necessarily how we put it either, because what we're saying there is x, x equals, what we're saying there is x equals 3/4, right? Okay, so we're bringing this down and we're getting that as a 0. But if we want to actually get what that would look like, we're going to try to get everything over to the other side. And because this is division, I'm going to multiply. Okay, so what I get is 4x equals 3, and I want to move that 3 over, and I do that through subtraction, correct? So I get 4x minus 3. Okay, and that's why I see 4x minus 3 as my answer there. Oh, wait. That's not even the answer. I'm going to have to hit pause on this. Something, because they tell me that the answer is 4x squared minus 3x. And it's probably because we're really not done. Okay, it's because we're not done yet. Because we would want x minus 0 for the rest, right? And then we would want to FOIL that. Okay, so what's 4x times x? 4x squared. What's 4x times 0? 0, nothing. No need to mess with it. So then we move on to the other part. What's negative 3 times x? Well, that's negative 3x, right? Okay, and then negative 3 times 0 is nothing. So that's, we just weren't done yet. Okay, so 4x squared minus 3xd, that's why we get that. Okay, because it says which of the following polynomials. So it's where I was getting stuck there was which of the following is a factor, right? So go back and look at the question that's being asked. We want the full polynomial that's being broken down. All right. Anything else on that page, 16 through 19? $17? Okay. So you don't need it. Okay. 18. Okay. Which is the smallest possible value for the product of two real numbers that differ by 6? What's the smallest possible value for the product of two numbers that differ by 6? Well, in terms of size, okay, obviously negative 36 is smaller than negative 9, but we have to be able to get a product there, right? Two real numbers that differ by 6. So if we're talking about numbers that have a difference of 6, what do we have? Well, you really can't when you're talking about negative 36, because let's look and test each number, right? Let's talk about negative 36. Because I have to get a product to equals negative 36, right? So let's look at the things that would multiply to be that, right? The problem is that you have to have a positive and a negative, right? So even if you had positive 6 and negative 6, they actually have a difference of 12, right? Let's talk about other things that multiply. What else multiplies to be negative 36? Like 12 and negative 3, right? Now we're getting even further apart, right? So the closer the numbers actually are, the closer that they are. I don't know, that's a terrible sentence to say. It doesn't explain anything. Because the closer they are. Yeah, it's just a duh. All right, let's look at negative 9. Negative 9, you would have 3 and negative 3, right? What's the difference there? 6, right? And negative 9 is the next smallest number, correct? So because G works, is there any need to test negative 6? even though, we might be able to find something, but ultimately that's the smallest number. Does that help? Okay. All right, 19. Okay, not so much. 20. Nothing. 21. 21, okay. The graph of the equation h equals negative a times t squared plus bt plus c, which describes the height of a hit baseball changes over time. T is shown below. If you alter only the equation's c term, which gives the height at time when the t equals 0, the alteration has an effect on which of the following? Okay. C. Let's see. Okay. C, so that we understand it, equation C terms gives the height at the time of t equals 0. So this is C. Okay, do we understand that? Okay. So our question is, what will that have an effect on? Okay, will it have an effect on the h-intercept? Yeah, because, if we move it up or down, right, that is my h-intercept. So it'll have to have an effect on that. What about the maximum value of h? Will it change this peak at all? Should, right? Okay. Will it change where we intercept the t at? Possibly, because we change our angle of attack. It may go like that, correct? Okay, so just looking at it visually, that's where we're going to get 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the biggest part of that is understanding what C is, and C is this point right there. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so let me stop this and get everything uploaded for you, and you can watch the rest of it.